What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros, the Sultan of Sando. Gab here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, the prophet, Mr. Maui Yap. Kumusta, Maui?
Ayos lang.
Ma-
Nag-aantay
medyo
ng
mainit.
games pa.
Kaantay ng games, medyo mainit.
Ah.
Mainit na umuulan. so medyo malabo pa yung weather day. Yeah, but we've had a ton of preseason games that have come up, both from Pinoy Liga and from Phil Oil. Phil Oil just started yesterday with an Adamson Lasal one half game. I would say one half because only one half was interesting. The second half was as you would expect it coming into a Adamson Lasal game. But we'll talk about that later. I do have some topics that I do want to talk about from Pinoy Liga and the Phil Oil games. Maui has no idea about these games. Oh, by the way, Sam is not here. Sorry, Sam is not here. He's attending to a family emergency at the moment. Actually, he won't be with us for the next couple of episodes. So just be me and Maui covering the preseason games. And for today's topic, we're actually not gonna do a recap of every single game because matatagal lang kami ni Maui dito. Hindi yata pwede yun. So, we're gonna take some little bit of topics. I do have some topics that I do want to discuss with Maui. And I'm gonna go first to Pinoy Liga, where we have seen the UP Fighting Maroons. Actually, UP Fighting Maroons play majority of their games. A lot of their games. Both UP1 and UP2 play a ton of games in Pinoy Liga. And I do want to ask Maui, because there's a lot of online sentiment at the moment. Is this Harold Alarcon's breakout season 88? Or are you still skeptical? What do you think?
Tayo on Boleros, we've been waiting this for 2 years. Diba? I think after we saw him during the preseason 2 seasons ago, I can personally say that I was expecting him to break out. Diba? I mean, that was a time that there were rumors that he was being recruited for KBL. I don't know if the B League also called. But this has to be it. Diba? This is the last season. If Harold Alarcon wants to play alongside maybe Kagulangan in JD Kagulangan in the KBL and Carl Tamayo in the KBL, this has to be it. Diba? I think this is his biggest chance. Diba? I think he will have a ton of usage. Diba? Maybe Rimogat can give the driver's seat to Alarcon first this season, since Rimogat will still be adjusting to UP's style of system during this season. But all signs are pointing to that. Diba? Lopez also decided to go pro early. There will be sobrang dami na wala. There will be a ton of usage. And I think if UP is to win the championship this year, Alarcon has to play at his best. Diba? There's no JD Kagulangan to bail him out anymore. There's no more QMB. I think that he has to play his best. For UP to play his best, I think if you look at the lineup, they're basically parading the same backcourt, diba? With Rimogat coming in. And he has to take over the reins, I think, this season. And he will have a ton of chances, diba? Unlike previous seasons, I think he will have more chances, diba? I think Rimogat can play also off the ball. We've seen Rimogat been successful playing off the ball during his time, early days in UE. I think he has the shooting. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think this could be the season that Harold Alarcon really takes that next step. Also, all sides are pointing to that. How about you? What do you think?
I mentioned this when Francis Lopez left, diba? When he announced that he was gonna play in the B League, sabi ko, a mini winner of this departure is Harold Alarcon. Because, diba, Maui, yung last season, nung we had explosions from Harold Alarcon. Actually, for the past 2 seasons, may games na nag-explode si Harold eh. Pero may games na nawawala rin siya. When I say breakout, I do want him to average like 15 to 18 points a game. I think yun yung ceiling niya. Actually, I think yun dapat yung baseline niya for a guy of his skill set. What I like about Harold is that he's a two-way player, locks up people on defense, but also his offensive game, his offensive back has expanded. And in Pinoy Liga, in the early games of Pinoy Liga, medyo makita mo, especially if you're watching UP Team 1, medyo siya yung go-to guy. Now, granted, medyo yung competition nila hasn't really been that, on the same level as them. I mean, they haven't really played UAAP level competition majority of the time. But in their most recent game, Maui, against the Lyceum Pirates, which is NCAA level competition, Harold Alarcon had 29 points, 4 assists, and 3 threes. Shot 45% from the floor. Showed the bag, 29 points. I think that was the bag he showed when he exploded against UE in the second round of last season. Diba? Yun eh. Ito yung potential ni Harold. Now, as to a breakout season for season 88, I'm not fully buying into it. I do think he can do it. I've obviously thought very highly of him the past 2 seasons. Pero ang big thing sa akin so far sa Pinoy Liga, he's not playing with Remogat. Diba yun yung question natin, Maui, when JD graduated? Yes, Harold Alarcon now has a free runway for usage and minutes. Well, minutes was never a problem, but usage was. Pero si Remogat papasok. So, how does their dynamic work? Para sa akin, Maui, yung tama sinabi mo eh. I think we'll see Harold more on the ball rather than Remogat on the ball. Kasi si Remogat is a better off-ball player in my opinion. Again, yung shooting niya is very invaluable. Yung sabi mo nga. So I do think we'll see a lot of Harold Alarcon on the ball. Again, 3 guys left that were, di naman high usage si QMB, but si Lopez and si JD were. Especially in the fourth quarter when UP was in crunch time mode. Talagang si Lopez and si Kagulangan would take over a lot of the offense. And I think you would see a lot of that from Harold. I do think he's for me, from what I've seen in Pinoy Liga, he's the number 1 offensive option. Plus, medyo lumaki na rin yung katawan ni Harold. I do think he's grown a bit. I mean, he's already in his 5th season, so definitely we expect that from him. But yeah, same with you. I'm not so sure na we'll get a breakout season. Again, I do want to see him with Remogat, which is going to be interesting for their Phil Oil games. Because I do hope we see the 2 of them together on the floor. Any last thoughts, Maui?
Yeah, I think without question pwede mangyari, but I think yung biggest question is can he stay consistent? Diba? Kasi I think that's what we've been saying the past 2 seasons. There are games where he scored 30 points easily, but there are games that he also disappears. I think for UP's chances this season, he has to be more consistent. Maybe less 30-point games and more games between 15 to 20. I would be more inclined to say that consistency could be the next test for Harold Alarcon.
Yeah, I don't think he'll average yung 20 points a game. I mean, 20 points, malaki na yun sa UAAP. Diba? Considering the leading scorers the past couple of seasons, mga less than 20 points a game lang. Diba? So, yeah, I think we're very bullish on Harold, but there's still some things to watch out for. Another interesting thing for the UP Fighting Maroons that we have to address. Maui, yung center position ng UP. A lot of people were saying it's Francis Noruca. I'm not so sure about that. Pero ngayon, ang tatanungin ko sa'yo, gun to your head, who's starting for the UP Fighting Maroons on opening game day? Gun to your head, ngayon. Out of all their centers, who's the starting center?
To be honest, I'd say it's gonna be si Alter or si Stevens. It should be. Kasi I think they maybe sa start.
Maui. Hindi ka pwede may 2 choice. Yung gun to your head niya, kailangan mo may isa kang piliin. Alter
I would
Stevens.
Stevens. I would say si Stevens. Diba? Kasi Stevens is more proven. Diba? Stevens was able to show in previous seasons that he can hang with other FSAs. I think si Stevens also has had breakout games in all of their preseason tournaments. And I really like I really like how Stevens can be super effective without having the ball in his hands, diba? I think that's the best thing that he can offer. Yung offensive rebounding niya, yung motor niya. I think that would be valuable for UP. I think that's where the other centers, QMB, DU, thrive for UP, di ba? Kasi they have a lot of players who are high usage players, di ba? Maybe some of them have already left, but you're still talking about one of the best backcourts in the UAAP, di ba? Backcourt rotation, di ba? Rimoka is just gonna be replacing JD, and all the other guys are still gonna be there. Fortea will still need shots. Torres will still need shots. Felicilda will still be aggressive to score. A big man who will thrive just rebounding, getting some drop passes, and not complain. You will not see Gani Stevens complain because that's his main strength. I think he's the best fit to start for UP. Now, you could argue that an FSA should start, but QMB just made the argument that you could win with being the best option starting and not being that FSA. We just have to say that si Nuruka is not Ben Mbala. If he's Ben Mbala, then he would be the easy choice. Or maybe
don't use Ben Mbala's name in vain. Yeah. Same thing with Divine Adili. Don't use Ans Kwame as a comparison, please. Come on.
Even Malik Yu, diba? Those three guys are on another level when you talk about FSAs in the UAP. So Nuruka will have to, if he's gonna be the FSA, he'll have to maybe earn his slot, diba? I mean, si Stevens and si Alter, and even to a certain degree, si Gagate has been showing out this off-season. The other two have been showing out since last off-season, diba? It's finally their chance. So I think the rotation will start with Alter and Stevens, and then they'll see how that FSA player, whoever they decide to get, makes his way to the starting lineup.
Ako, gun to my head, I would say it's none of the 5 or the 4 that is gonna be starting for DP Fighting Maroons come season 87. Yung season 88. I do think they're gonna try and pull off a QMB type move as the season draws closer. Because, Maui, I think if they're looking at Mike Phillips right now, and why wouldn't they? LaSalle is their main competition right now for the title, I think. Diba? So, I'm thinking UP is still looking. I'm thinking they're still looking for an answer. I mean, I don't think they have any confidence in Gani Stevens, Sean Alter, Gagate, Noruka, or Ododo. That's 5 guys. Dami. 5. Pagpipiliin nila sa center. But I don't think they have any confidence coming into this season and matching up in any of those 5 people. You matching up with Mike Phillips, which is why I think they're still on the hunt. They're still on the hunt for that QMB type recruit type hugot, whether it's a one and done, whether it's a 2 and through, whether it's an incoming freshman, I don't know. But I do think UP, if they want to defend the title, they have to find an answer for Mike Phillips. So I'm betting on none of those 5 players are going to be starting for the start of season 88 because if any of the 5 of them are starting and they're matching up against Mike Phillips, barbecue chicken for Mike. I think we saw this already. There's just no way that any of those 5 guys can match up to Mike Phillips. So that's just me. Any thoughts on that, Maui? Do you think that UP will actually find someone else instead of the 5? Well, we saw it already last offseason. They did not care if Alter and Stevens were playing well. They're gonna recruit someone. They're gonna try to find the best answer. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good thought that you had, diba? Kasi if you think about it, diba, there's also one FSA there's also one and done big man that people are si JT Tan, diba, are already trying to get. So I wouldn't be surprised if may manggulat pa. Remember, it's still a very long off season. We don't know if these are gonna be the lineups, diba? A lot change during the end of last season. And remember, UP won some tournaments during the preseason but still decided to get UMB as insurance for Mike Phillips, and it paid off with dividends, winning them their championship last season. I don't know lang if there's a name as big as QMB. Diba? Kasi si QMB has been in the basketball news in the Philippines for years. I don't know if there's a player at the same caliber as him that they could get to be able to match up with Phillips, who is better than Stevens or Alter in year 1 or in Noruka. So let's see. But again, they can surprise us, diba? Even yung players nila, they surprised last minute last season. So let's see what happens.
Okay. That's it for the UP center slot. But we do have another guy, I think, who's been making waves in Pinoy Liga, has been having some pretty good games. Chico Briones, Mr. Preseason himself. He's always performed well in the preseason. Maui, is this his time? Is this Chico Briones' time to actually get some minutes, to actually find himself in the rotation? I mean, he's been playing really well. He's been shooting the ball well. Albeit, again, their team is split into two. So, yeah. So marami siyang playing time for, I think, Team 2. Yeah, I think Team 2 siya ngayon. Is this his time, Maui? He's been making waves. A lot of UP fans are high on him. He's been playing well.
I would say it has to be. It has to be in his mind also. Kasi, di ba, we saw some pre-UP players decide to leave, di ba? I don't think Terculas, as much as we've been hyping on this podcast, I don't think he's coming back. Di ba? So there's a big gap on that fourth slot. And UP can play small, as you mentioned. But if I were betting who would benefit the most, it would be Belmonte, diba, for next season, and maybe si Baila. I would be betting more on these two than I would bet on Briones. Although remember, Briones has a specific skill set, diba, that would be useful in certain lineups. Diba, his shooting could get him more minutes. I think that's where he's been thriving this off season. But if you were to ask me, I would still bet that Baila and Belmonte are two of the guys that I think would have better or higher, more, I mean, better seasons than season 80, than the last season. I think these two guys are primed to be able to get more minutes. Diba? Belmonte has shown us that he can play starters minutes. Diba? I think Belmonte's biggest nightmare is already out of the UAP. Diba? Kevin Kiambao. I think that matchup, diba? That's his biggest nightmare. That's where he was exposed. Diba? I think that he could be better. He could be used more. He could be given more minutes this season. But let's see. I think UP has a lot of options. Diba? When you have a team who's 16-man deep, anyone can really just explode and step up. But for Briones, this has to be the year that he has to make a mark, diba? Not just play 5 minutes a game. He has to make his way into the lineup and try to get 15 to 20 minutes. Similar to how Shantuano, diba? Shantuano forced himself to get minutes last season. I think if Briones is to be successful, this has to be that season. It's gonna be his third season, diba? Correct?
Yep, third season. So, ako on the fence ako about this. I know he's been playing well. Pero marami pang wings ang hindi naglalaro, Maui. Si Coronel hasn't even suited up yet. Andres has not even suited up yet. Ako, if there's a position that would benefit him the most, it's definitely as sabi mo nga, stretch 4. Because I don't think he's getting wing minutes. Not with Alarcon, not with Torres, Baila there. Medyo masikip eh. The minutes crunch on the wing is real. I don't think he's gonna get any minutes there. And the fact that he's not as sharp of a defender as the others on the wing kind of goes against him, diba? Yun ang problem eh. And I know UP fans have been saying, well, his shooting can be a weapon. As you said, they have other shooters. They have Fortea. Abajano can shoot from the outside. Baila can. So, medyo mahirap. Para sa akin, sa power forward siya kailangan magpakita. Pero, again, there's Bermolte, there's Eniguez, Baila can play some 4, as you said. First, para sa akin, malabo. Yung on the fence ako about Chico Briones actually cracking the rotation. I think, more likely than not, you'll see him play sparingly again for season 8-8. ito yun eh. I mean, we've seen this Chico Briones story before. He's always played well in the preseason. Again, I call him si Mr. Preseason because palagi ang ganda ng pinapakita niya sa preseason eh. So, but when it comes to the actual season itself, he barely plays. I'm not bullish on the fact that he will actually get rotation minutes in this UP team. I mean, so power forward, for me, yung best bet ko sa kanya. And this is not for a long stretch of a game, di ba? Baging stretch 4 siya because he's not that big. So, situational stretch 4 ang maging role niya for me. I don't think he's taking any minutes from the other wings. Okay, we've spent 18 minutes on the UP Fighting Maroons. For those who medyo marami. Okay. Guys, for those who say we don't talk about UP, we spent 18 minutes talking.
Dalawang lineup eh.
Dalawang lineup and they played a ton of games in Pinoy Liga. So we spent a lot of time talking about the UP Fighting Maroons. But now, Maui, we're gonna go to someone who had a pretty good debut during the weekend, both in Pinoy Liga and in Phil Oil. Certain baby Falcon who's now grown up to be an actual adult Falcon, Mr. John Earl Medina of the Adamson Falcons, I think had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in their game in Pinoy Liga on Saturday. Then had 14 points, 11 in the first half against LaSalle yesterday. Was definitely the bright spot in an otherwise very lopsided very lopsided, but on a lopsided loss against the De La Salle Green Archers. Maui, is Earl Medina him? Is John Earl Medina him for the Adamson Falcons?
It looks legit, si Medina. I like his size. I think what was most impressive to me actually ended up as a block by Mike Phillips by Earl Medina. I think may isang fast break Earl Medina did the Euro step, and with no regard for Mike Phillips, he still went for it. Diba? Walang takot yung bata. I think that's when you move up from the juniors to the seniors division, you see some players who try to adjust, who are not aggressive, diba? Try to pick their slots. Earl Medina just went in and said, whatever this is basketball, and I will play to the best of my ability and just do what I can, di ba? I think yung size niya is very good for his position. I like how long he is. I like how aggressive he is to drive to the basket. Adamson is finally going to get multiple wing players, I think, na decent for this season, di ba? Pair him with Mantua, pair him with Franzman. I think Earl Medina is the real deal. I think Adamson, finally, diba, they were able to lock up players from the juniors division, and I think he's actually as good as advertised. And I think, I'm excited, diba, how he develops, diba. Imagine matching up with Mantua and Franzman in practice every day. I think this guy has a bright future, diba. Maybe he can slide down to the shooting guard slot eventually and also do some playmaking. Diba? Improve his 3-point shot.
Pinapadala na nga siya ng bola eh. He's not bringing the ball off the floor.
Yeah, sa Phil Oil, I think it's they're really developing him to be an all-around guy. Diba? So the sky's the limit for this guy. When you don't get scared when Mike Phillips is about to block you, then I think that you're a guy that really has supreme confidence, and that's very good coming from a rookie. Diba? Rookie is looking to make his mark in the seniors division.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think we were both impressed when we were watching the games this weekend. Earl Medina really looks good. His shot looks really smooth. You know, to talk about yung walang takot challenging Mike Phillips, walang takot siya taking his shots. And you can see that he has the confidence of Coach Nash to take shots. They run plays for him. They run plays to get him open, and that's what I like. Now I do want to see him do a little bit more than just pull up threes and pull up mid rangers. Maybe add a little bit of floater, take someone off the dribble. But you can't deny that he has a good starting point. The fact that may very smooth outside shot na siya. And that was his role in high school. Remember, I think when he was in grade 11, he was purely a shooter, developed his game, became one of the main offensive guys when he came into grade 12. Definitely, you see the development. You see that his base of offensive, yung floor niya offensively is a spot-up shooter, but you can see that he has playmaking chops. So that you can see he can create his own shot, which I really like. So I think Adamson has been waiting for someone like this for the longest time. Diba? Siya na pa si Josh Giddey, yung hinahantay, yung parang sa Chicago Bulls, the savior of the Chicago Bulls, Josh Giddey. Is he gonna be the next Josh Giddey? Again, we've been calling Adamson the Chicago Bulls of the UAAP. Hopefully they're more than that, and hopefully si John Earl Medina can actually live up to some expectations because he looks really good. He looks really comfortable running the offense.
Doesn't look like a rookie.
Exactly. Doesn't look like a rookie. And I think he'll get minutes. Mau, yun yung important, diba? As with any young players, with any rookie as highly touted as him. Again, he was part of the NBTC top high school prospects. The important thing when you go into get to college is to get minutes, diba? Minutes agad, and I think he does. I think of all the recruits that they had, all of the 7 recruits that they got from their juniors ranks, si John Earl Medina ay yung pinakamalaki ang upside. I think we've said this multiple times already. He's been very impressive. As you said, Maui, yung length niya, he's perfect for Adamson's system. Just look at the wings and guards who have gone through Adamson in the past. He's the prototypical Coach Nash Rosella / Gilbert Lau wing. And I think he'll find himself to have a ton of minutes. Marami rin yung nawala sa Adamson, underrated. I mean, si Kalisa, Yero, Eli Ramos, we did forget about him. He's now gone. But maraming great place, and I do expect si John Earl Medina will have a place in Adamson's rotation. Any last words, Maui, before we move on to our next topic?
Actually, I'm surprised si Eli Ramos pala, I was caught off guard na wala na pala siya for Adamson, but yeah, si Medina will get his chances, 'di ba? And I think ito yung maybe this is good also, not just for Earl Medina but for the Adamson program, yung juniors division. 'Di ba? A guy thriving from the juniors program will really prove dividends down the road. I think when they get maybe si Pomelo Ball, 'di ba? They can sell how they've given Medina the reins, they've given Medina the chance to really develop. Having a good high school program and having a guy thrive coming from that program will pay dividends definitely for Adamson.
Yep. And now take the big games from John Earl Medina again with a grain of salt. There was no Erolon, Franzman, Montebon during the weekend game. So, needless to say, yung nabigyan siya ng opportunity this past weekend. So, we'll see how he performs next to the other main rotation guys when they eventually play their entire lineup. Lastly, but for all the other games, I do want to talk about my new NU Bulldogs because I'm gonna start to call them the bright future NU Bulldogs because we saw in Asia Basket them play without their main guns. We saw them again in Pinoy Liga play without their main guns. Ewan ko sa'yo, Maui, pero I'm starting to like the season 89 NU Bulldogs. I think I like them more than how they look in season 88 actually with si Manansala, Figueroa, and Nash and Steve Nash Enriquez. But I don't know. I love their young guys. Ewan ko sa'yo, Maui, pero si Miguel Palanca looks good. Jedrick Solomon looks good. Justin Garcia. Mac Alfanta. I don't know. Does NU have the brightest future among all UAP teams right now? Kasi grabe, ang lalim nila. Ang lalim nila in terms of young guys. Ang lalim ng NU. What are your thoughts, Maui?
Much like Adamson, di ba? They're finally getting yung pieces nila from the juniors division and into the seniors division. I think that's a trend that's very welcome in the UAAP with all the recruitment wars, with all the crazy money going around with recruitment. I think this is a good sign for the UAAP. Di ba? Players from the juniors division are deciding to play for the seniors team. Si Palangka is a guy that really intrigues me. I think he could have a future even in Gilas with his size. But I think the good thing about NU is you mentioned it, 'di ba? Yung lalim ng lineup nila for next season, 'di ba? They will have a lot of coach sorry, what's the name? Coach Jeff. Sorry, nalimutan ko si Coach Jeff. Sorry, Coach Jeff. Katabi kita ng
Yung pamatawa ka ng Starbucks no, pare.
Sorry, Coach Jeff. Na-meet pa naman kita sa isang game. Katabi kita. Si Coach Jeff has a lot of choices for next season, 'di ba? When he doesn't, you know Coach Jeff, 'di ba? When he gets irritated with the player, he yanks them and gets the next player, 'di ba? Having a deeper lineup gives you more options. Having a deeper lineup gives you a ton of other players and looks, 'di ba? I think what's impressive about NU so far for me is they're performing like this without their best player. 'Di ba? I think si Figueroa just started to play. And I've liked how si Manan Salas also played. I think they're primed for big seasons. I think yung biggest question right now is what we've been saying on our podcast is who will start at point guard. So far, from what I've seen, si Steve Nash ang most impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if si Tebol Garcia surprises us and gets that starting slot just so that Steve Nash can also bring yung stability of the bench, diba? So let's see. But a ton of questions for NU, but very good questions coming into season 89. Diba? I think they have a lot of potential for next season. Diba? When you have two lineups that are young and veterans, it's very good. Diba? Kasi you get your ceiling from the young guys. Diba? You know what you're gonna get with the veterans. And I think I'm understanding more why a lot of people from our comment section, even early on this offseason, are saying that NU is a dark horse championship contender for next season. And I hope they are. Diba? I hope they prove us wrong and finally become championship contenders. Diba? Not just championship pretenders. Diba? We've been waiting for this we've been waiting for this jump for a few seasons. It was pretty sad last season.
Go.
Maybe Omar Jan is really the right person, diba, to lead them. Diba? He's been the guy that's been there since the start. So let's see. It was a bit depressing what happened to them, diba, last season when they chose si Deasana and he instantly got injured during the first game. So I'm interested to see how they do during the rest of the preseason. A ton of questions, but mostly from the point guard and center slot, which will definitely be answered with their other games.
I like how you mentioned si Miguel Palangka Maui because I love him also. I think he has Gilas written all over him. Now, I know they're gonna play a ton of Kenshin Padrones at the 4, maybe even some PJ Palacelo at the 4. I think he should, I don't know, I think he should start over Padrones already. I love him more than Kenshin Padrones. His skill set, now yung may jump shot siya. May mid-range na siya. This early. He's wildly athletic. He's long. Now, he's a bit slim. Pero I don't think you can argue with the skill set of Miguel Palangka. I really do think they, out of all the rookies that are incoming for NU, and they have a ton, I think siya yung dapat bigyan ng mas maraming playing time out of all. Because if you look at their front court rotation, it's Padrones, siguro si Manansala will take some 4 minutes. It's Palacelo and Omar Jan, maybe si Jedrick Solomon as a third string center. There's a spot there. I think he can compete at power forward. I don't think he's a center. Diba? I think when we've watched him, I don't think he's gonna play as a center. Medyo sayang, in my opinion, if they actually do play him at center. I do think he's better at power forward. And if he can even transform himself into a very long and lanky wing, oh my God, this guy actually can do it. I do think so. So again, the bright future Bulldogs. Can I name them that already this early? I do think they are the bright future Bulldogs. I'm in love with their young guys. They also have their point guard from their boys division, si Jid Locsin, who I think is gonna be not this season, pero maybe in season 89 get some rotation minutes. But yeah, I love the NU Bulldogs. I love how they look. Let's see how they perform in Phil Oil and in Pinoy Liga once they get all their seniors back. Yung tatlong na lang Thunders na nandun. But yeah, puro sila bata, Maui. As in, marami silang bata, pero meron silang mga matatanda, mga 50-year players already. So
marami silang ceiling racers. I think that's
Yep.
what's different from previous seasons.
Yep. And I do hope that na bigyan ng run yung mga bata. Because those young guys are really talented. I do think that they deserve some minutes. Okay, lastly, akala ko yung quick episode lang tayo, Maui, mga less than 30 minutes umabot na tayo ng marami. But lastly, we would not be boleros if we don't talk about the recent news that our friend Nabs has just shown the world that Chris Porter is looking to leave the Ateneo Blue Eagles and possibly transfer to another UAAP or NCAA school. Maui, I think we've caught wind of this for months already. Hindi na natin sinasabi on the podcast. Siyempre. But yeah, we've caught wind of this for a long time, that Chris Porter has been struggling with, let's say, some academics, and whether it's actually academics that has led them to this, but it's not a good sign when he's not anymore with the team during their preseason games. You know, we don't see him there anymore. Maui, your thoughts? What both for Ateneo and for Chris Porter?
Ako personally, sayang. Diba? Kasi from last season, we saw that Chris Porter is a fighter. Diba? Despite being undersized, he was playing the 5. And to a certain degree, he was the best. He was probably the most important player from last season. Diba? If you look at the season 87 Eagles, if Chris Porter wasn't there, I don't think we win one game. Just because we're probably going to be...
That's very
diba?
true. Because
think,
we'll have to play Balogun or Kyle Ong.
We'll have to play Balogun and Kyle Ong 40 minutes, diba? I don't think those guys combined should even play more than 20 minutes, diba? I think Chris Porter showed me potential din siya, diba? He showed me outside shooting siya. I think this guy has potentially a bright future also. Diba? I think there's a reason why a lot of teams, despite him being an undersized big, were trying to recruit this guy coming out of high school, diba? And I think a ton of teams are probably looking at him right now. And sayang kasi I think he could have been the last piece that Ateneo needed to get to the Final Four this season, diba? I think we've been talking about this we've been hyped, much like the Ateneo alumni. We've been hyped with Ateneo's chances for next season to maybe crack the Final Four. And so far, I think the biggest hole in Ateneo's lineup is that front court ano pa rin, slots, di ba? If Ladi picks 2 quick fouls, we'll be forced to play Lazaro again at center, and we don't want to see that, di ba? We want Lazaro playing 3 or 4 is natural slot. We don't want Kyle Ong needing to play 20 minutes a game. Diba? I think when we saw the game of Ateneo against Lasal ng Asia Basket, and Divine Adili was, I would say, bullied and welcome to the UAAP by Mike Phillips, and he only played 8 minutes. That could happen in some of our games, diba? Some of the games of Ateneo come season 88, and
Divine does foul a lot.
Divine fouls a lot, diba? And we'll be forced to play Ladi or Lazaro on the 5 slot, diba? And that's not their natural positions, diba? That's why Mike Phillips had close to a 40-20 game against Ateneo, 'di ba? During that Asia Basket game, and I think si Phillips, and I think si Porter could have maybe limited him maybe to a 20-20 game or 20-50 game instead of a 40 close to 40-20 game if we had him, 'di ba? But I hope that si Porter gets to a place where he gets to play a ton of minutes, 'di ba? Kasi sayang yung momentum niya. From his rookie season, he was able to showcase his skills. He was able to showcase yung ano niya, yung that he has a ceiling, that he can develop his outside shot and potentially slide down yung position. If I were to bet, I'd probably say that he should go to the NCAA. Diba? I don't want him losing 2 playing years if he transfers to a UAAP team. Diba? Sayang yung 2 playing years, diba? It's Christian Porter is not like VJ Pre, who could explode 1 season and get offers abroad, diba? Christian Porter is a work in progress, more of a work in progress. He is a guy that has to slide down from the center slot to maybe the 4 and then the 3 slot to make it to the pros and be successful, in my opinion. And I hope he gets to a program that develops him that way. The problem is, if he transfers to the NCAA and there are no FSAs there, maybe they just opt to play him as a 5. Diba? So, sayang. Kasi diba?
Yun ang takot ko rin, Maui. Yeah.
Yun ang takot ko, tama. Kasi that's why I think that the best situation is still in the UAAP, but because of that stupid rule, I'm also skeptical for him to transfer to another UAAP school. 'Di ba? Kasi losing 2 playing years is big. 'Di ba? If he decides to transfer to UAAP school, then he'll have 2 seasons max to play. 'Di ba? 1 season to adjust and then just 1 more season to really show out, 'di ba? I don't know if he has it in him to be able to do that and get to the pros. So maybe it's a bit more complicated for Christian Porter, but I hope he lands in a good situation, diba? I hope he goes to a team where he gets minutes. Kasi he showed that he is valuable if he gets minutes, diba? He has a certain type of skill set that he can do. He has a certain type of matchups that he does pretty well. And if he goes to a team that like LaSalle or UP, then he'll not get minutes, diba? Most probably with all the clog in their front court. But if he goes to a team who has a need in the front court, then he can easily get 20 minutes and show out.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Now, the NCAA would be, of course, less hurtful for him in terms of eligibility years. But yun ang takot ko eh. As I said, that they'll just play him at center because there are no FSAs there. Another thing why FSAs are important and why we support it and why the NCAA should bring FSAs back, because we're just playing these guys who could be 4s or wing players into centers again, which, come on, we can't be like that. We just have to look at KQ and Carl Tamayo and hope they develop into those type of players, diba? So, yeah, no, baka NCAA, but for me, as you said, Maui, UAAP pa rin sana. Kasi doon siya talaga makaka-develop and play a position that will help him professionally. He's not gonna play pro basketball as a 6'3", 6'4" center. There is no way, diba? So his best route is definitely to convert himself into a wing, given his size. Do a Mike Nieto transformation, diba? Yun yung peg niya eh. You know, he was a center in high school, same as Mike Nieto, big, bulky dude. Same as Mike Nieto. Mike Nieto slimmed down, converted his game into a wing player, and now is having a pretty good pro career. I think si Christian Porter has to take the Mike Nieto route and convert himself into that. I do agree with you. If he goes to UP or LaSalle, I mean, saan siya maglalaro doon? I mean, there are people who want him to go there, but in all honesty, saan ka maglalaro doon yung Christian Porter? We just talked about the clog, the 5 guys vying for the center slot and the 3 or 4 guys vying for the power forward slot in UP, and there are multiple wing players in UP. Isang kalulugar doon. Same thing with LaSalle. There's Mason Amos. Si LeBron James Diep is there already. Maging backup ka ni Mike Phillips. May Henry Agonare na, may Bright Noangco, Dominic Sarmiento. Ang dami. Hindi ka I do hope he chooses a place like FEU or UE. Heck, you even sa UST. Baka si Forsky, yung bulungan siya. We've talked about the backup center problem of UST. They don't even want to play Zane. So they need a backup center. Hopefully it doesn't play that, but there are definitely slots open in UST for a stretch 4. But for me, dapat teams like FEU, UE, those are teams that desperately need minutes behind their starters because UE, ang dami yun, wala na kasi Devin Fikes who's one of their stretch 4s. So yun sana sa akin, a team that allow him to get minutes. Very unfortunate. Sayang. I do love what he showed for our Ateneo last season. It's just unfortunate that he ran into a ton of problems, and it's sad. I don't want to see anyone leave Ateneo. Obviously, yung Ateneo sa tayo. But we'll end it there. That's our preseason recap for this week. We'll probably do one over the weekend or maybe next week. There are a ton of games gonna go on in the weekend. Again, we'll most likely be without Sam. Just gonna be me and Maui. But for the Sultan of Sando and the Prophet himself, we want to bid you goodbye and thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you still want the Boleros Cup, we're still selling for the upcoming season. We have a few months to go, around 4 months to go before the start of the season. So once again, thank you and bye-bye.